Hello everyone. I am Babu Dasari. I'm a faculty and also an instructional designer at Texas Southern University, and I was with Rutgers University from 2012 to 2020. And I have been a researcher, instructional designer, and above all, I'm an educator. So today's topic is reimagining assessment, authentic learning in the age of AI. What is the context of this particular topic? The context is, so we have generative AI coming in a big way, like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Copilot, and so on and so forth, and which is giving students an unprecedented access to their information and the way they can do their assignments and so on and so forth. And traditional essays and homework may no longer ensure originality. And this is the biggest challenge that many faculty are facing in the age of AI. The key question is, so what is the way we should go about? Like, should we resist usage of AI in the classroom, or should we integrate AI into the classroom, or choose a mix of both and then choose one for certain kinds of assignments and choose other for certain kinds of assignment? Why AI challenges assignments is a big question. So AI can produce coherent essays, code summaries, and whatnot. If students give a prompt, they can get all kinds of answers output, and which is becoming a decent incentive for the students not to really be creative and work hard and do things on their own. And faculty cannot always distinguish between AI versus student work. And this is becoming a big challenge because no tool is 100% AI detectable tool. And the concerns are integrity and skill building and equity is a big issue as far as AI challenges the assessments is concerned. There are two paths through which faculty can think about generating the assessments, creating the assignments. There are AI resilient assignments and the designs that withstand AI revolution, and AI integrated assignments. They are you design tasks that so that the students use AI in certain manner, get certain amount of knowledge, and later they can be more creative. And in this particular presentation, we are going to discuss more about these two paths. What are the AI resilient principles? And an assessment has to be more authentic. It is tied to the real world applications, data, and it is more or less original. And we are more interested in like process than the product, than the output. In other words, a student is supposed to submit a couple of drafts. The notes of the student is very, very important, and we divide the whole assignment into small steps or portions, which is scaffolding. Student learn in an incremental way. That is where process is more important. In that situation, AI resilient and AI resistant assignments shine. And the modalities, especially when you have online or face to face, in both cases, when you have the above criteria, like when a student is supposed to submit a original work and a real world related work where process is more important, and then the AI resilient principles shine, and the modalities like oral defenses, presentations, handwritten or analog components are so important. In that case, one needs to go for AI resilient assignments. And also, uh, in such a situation, transparency is very important, and the faculty need to give a clear policy about AI, like whether AI is permitted with citation or completely prohibited, or what are the other kinds of criteria. So coming to AI integrated principles, AI is used as a collaborator for the student. It gives a student a kind of a jump start kind of a thing, a brainstorms the student and to move forward with his creativity. And a reflection, students explain how AI was used, what kinds of prompts are used and which AI tool is working better, and how a student has synthesized uh, the outputs from various tools. In that kind of a situation, AI integrated AI related assignments shine. A student can be more critical about compare AI versus student reasoning, in that and then proper citation of AI use should be used when AI integrated assignments are used. So in my course, I have created a a couple of examples. One with AI integrated kind of an assignment, another with AI resilient or AI resistant assignment. So example one is a mid-semester infographic, and which is a AI integrated assignment. And in this some of the salient features of this particular assignment are as follows. Students create a country macroeconomic infographic, and I teach a course in principles of macroeconomics. Until week 5 or 6, students learn the basic concepts what is GDP, gross domestic product, growth rate, inflation rate, unemployment. These are the concepts they learn. And after learning these concepts, I want students to apply them and then choose a country of their choice and then apply them and then put them in an infographic. So that is the gist of the assignment. So the tools that I'm using are Adobe Express, and in our university we have every student has a license to Adobe Express, and then of course the World Bank data, IMF data, and other kinds of economic data are available, and those guidelines are clearly stated in this particular assignment. And in this case, AI is used, use is allowed, and must, of course, verify the sources of AI. And the learning outcomes of this particular project is people are getting well versed with the digital tools like Adobe Express, which are very important in the job market, and of course the data literacy through what they have learned in this particular course, and visualization and critical thinking, and the data has they have to infer the data, and there are certain guidelines that are given which are supposed to be put in the assignment. So I cannot really go through the entire assignment, but I'm trying to give you a glimpse of what steps, how I have scaffolded the whole assignment into 5 steps. One is the first step is the infographic training, and that starts in week 6, and uh, the country selection and where the students are going to select the country. In step 1, they're going to learn about some of the watch some of the videos, how to make an infographic and so on and so forth, and how they can use a remixable infographic template. And then in the step 2, what they're going to do is they're going to select a country, and in Canvas I create a page where I have all the countries listed. No two students should select a same country. So, and students are given a chance to select their own country, where the page is made a collaborative page. And step 3 is they talk more about macroeconomic indicators, as I said, GDP, growth rate, unemployment, inflation. They're going to work on these macroeconomic indicators. And then as a step 4, they work on infographic, country study infographic, and finally a draft will be submitted, and then in step 5 a final draft will be submitted. Note, in all these steps, a student, if the student is not up to satisfaction, I would ask them to resubmit the work, and that is where a student will have chance to master the material. So this is a very, once you chunk the whole assignment into various parts, and student learning outcome is much superior. And for instance, as I said, I mean, in the week 1, students are going to learn a little bit about Adobe Express, and there are a whole lot of a minute or a 2-minute videos that introduce students about various kinds of tools available in making a infographic in an Adobe Express. So that is about my example 1, and which is AI integrated assignment. Whereas the example 2 is AI resilient assignment or AI resistant assignment, which is a weekly journal. This is basically every week or two, every 2 weeks, students have to identify 5 important concepts they have learned in that particular course, in that particular chapter, and then they put them every week. It has to be submitted as handwritten one, and I give them the resources on how to scan a document using iPhone or Android and then submit it. So those are already stated in the assignment. So the students reflect weekly, and a grading rubric is set very clearly. And in once you have this, reduces AI misuse, and which is this kind of a submission is an analog submission. I know that what student is really submitting, and emphasizes personal engagement and critical thought. And I am 100% sure that this is the student who is doing the work, and then student can engage with the material. No shortcuts. And rubric ensures a lot of clarity and depth, and it makes things much more transparent. To give you a glimpse of my week 3 and 4 journal entry, which is on chapter 3, as I stated, they write the 5 most important essential concepts that they identified in that chapter. I also give a link to how to scan using an iPhone. I also give a small video on how to scan your document, whatever you have written document, with an Android, and the grading rubric is given, the criteria, description of criteria, explanation with examples and graphs, grammar and presentation, and what is exemplary, what is developing, where and what are the different points I'm allocating for various kinds of improvements. And student submissions, I would like to bring how students have submitted in my fall course, and then how I have given them the feedback, and what is the learning scope of such assignment. So the typed journal entry submission, a student has, as I have mentioned, I asked them to handwrite the assignment, and this student has typed the assignment. If you look at this, so he has typed the assignment, and I said in my comments in the speed grader that, I asked you to submit as a handwritten assignment. You have submitted a typed one, and this is not acceptable, and please resubmit. There is a resubmit option, which is very powerful in Canvas. Likewise, it should be available in other LMSs also. And another student has submitted a journal entry without graphs. I mean, let's go and have a look at that. And this is the journal entry he has submitted, uh, and in which, I mean, I asked them to include graphs wherever necessary, and the student has included the examples but not the graphs. In this particular chapter, the graphs are so important because it talks about demand, supply, equilibrium, and so on and so forth. So, and very interestingly, the student has used a structure to this particular assignment submission, which is called the Cornell notes, which I have introduced them in my course, and which is a good way of writing notes. And in this case, I tell the student that, like, I mean, please include graphs, and you can resubmit it for the lower grade that you got. And that gives a student an incentive to increase his grade. And an exemplary work, one of the exemplary works submitted by the student is as follows. So in this case, a student has handwritten the assignment and then submitted it with graphs, and it is a kind of an exemplary work. And most importantly, when I have such kinds of assignments, I also give a sample uh, ex- exemplary work so that students understand what my expectations are besides the rubric. So what are the faculty takeaways? So is my assignment about a just recall or a judgment? And if it is a recall, and it is under the Bloom's taxonomy at a lower level of the Bloom's taxonomy. If it is a judgment and so on, it's at the middle or higher level, and you got to really think about it. And could AI do this better or faster than student? And if it is yes, and I have to redesign my assignment and add reflection, process, and multimodality to the assignments. So this is something that comes out from these kinds of examples. And in the era of AI, uh, we got to think about these aspects. So I suggest faculty to take one current assignment to just, brainstorm it and redesign it as either AI resilient or AI integrated one. Share the ideas with the colleagues. And another important one is, please make sure that you mention whether in that particular assignment, uh, whether generative AI is permitted or not permitted. It can be not permitted, and state that the complete the work without generative AI, complete it without it is permitted, and but with citations. Encourage with reflection, where you use AI as a collaborator, and then see how prompts are working in different kinds of AI tools, and uh, how one can improve the prompts and prompt engineer, master the prompt engineering. Those are the kinds of things one can think about. So what I'm trying to insist is, please make sure that you are specifically stating the AI policy and for each and every assignment. The resources I came across while preparing this particular presentation are as follows. EDUCAUSE 2023 Generating AI and Teaching uh, emphasizes on product, where shift from product to process. So when you're trying to shift from product to process, the important thing that you got to remember is you have to chunk the assignment. Scaffolding is very, very important, and analog assignments are so important. Fonts 2023, the post-digital education and AI, it talks about a whole lot of things, and AI shouldn't be treated as an enemy, and we should have a holistic approach in the post-digital education. Whole range of factors, including political, economic, environmental, and biological. Some interesting thing about the environmental is all these AI tools, so they consume a lot of energy, and then how do you really how does it affect environment is also something interesting they talk about in this particular article. And the biological is something, so in the digital world, a lot of in the name of analytics, a lot of data is collected, and then a kind of a profiling is done, and then which is another thing which we have to be cautious about. And in the case of JISC, which means Joint Information Systems Committee, which was formed in 1993 in UK, that they talk about the key principles of a future assessment should be authentic, and it should be accessible, and appropriately automated, continuous, and secure. In terms of accessibility, they did a kind of a survey where they found in a school 18% of the students are in one form or the other form they are disabled, which is a significant number. And and it also talks about an assignment has to be appropriately automated, which means uh, uh, when you have an assignment that is chunked into different portions, and then you have an instructor has to do a lot of grading. So in other words, how do you really semi-automate your grading process is a interesting and a challenging thing. And then it has to be continuous, and a learner has to be we should be a continuous we have to be a lifelong learners, and secure in the sense, and we have to make sure that the assignment is taken by the actual student. Likewise, Long 2023, he talks about small teaching and small things, how they make a bigger changes. These are a couple of resources that I came across, which are very, very interesting, and they are a good read. And finally, we are at the crossroads, and we are at the challenging times. All challenges are followed by some opportunities, great opportunities. So the AI era is leading us to a challenge, and also gives us a lot of opportunities. And if you have any questions or answers, and then you want to discuss something, and you can always take a picture of my QR code, and then you can connect me via LinkedIn, and I'm happy to connect with you. And also, my email is babu.dasari at tsu, t as Tom, s as Sam, u as umbrella.edu. Thank you.